Why your brain refuses to think in English and how to fix it. If you're someone learning English as a second or third language, you've likely had this frustrating experience. You study vocabulary, you memorize grammar rules, maybe even binge watch English TV shows. And yet, when the time comes to speak or write, your brain just won't switch into English mode. Instead, it stubbornly clings to your native language, translating every thought word by word, leading to awkward sentences, delays, and confusion. This chapter will explore why that happens, not just from a linguistic point of view, but also from a psychological and neurological one, and, most importantly, how you can train your brain to think in English naturally. Why your brain doesn't want to think in English. Your brain isn't being lazy, it's just doing its job. Let's break it down. 1. Your brain loves familiarity. Your native language is deeply embedded in your brain. It's been there since childhood, used in countless conversations, emotions, memories, jokes, dreams. Your first kiss, your first job interview, your happiest and worst moments. All those experiences are linked to that language. In contrast, English is newer. It's like a visitor who's been staying in the guest room but hasn't moved in yet. So, when you're not paying close attention, your brain automatically defaults to the language it knows best. It feels safer. It feels easier. 2. You're translating instead of thinking. One of the most common habits among English learners is mental translation. You think of a sentence in your language, then try to convert it into English, often in real time. Here's the problem. Languages aren't mathematical formulas. They don't translate perfectly. Grammar structures, word order, idioms, even the way feelings are expressed, they're all different. So your brain gets stuck. It wants to express a thought, but it has to decode and recode everything. That's not thinking in English. That's thinking in your language and manually converting it. It's like trying to speak underwater. Everything slows down. 3. Fear and perfectionism. Another hidden enemy is fear. Fear of making mistakes, sounding silly, or being misunderstood. This fear creates a mental block. Instead of letting thoughts flow, your brain constantly checks for errors, grammar issues, or the right word. That kills fluency and prevents your brain from ever getting comfortable in English. 4. Lack of immersion. If English is only something you study for 30 minutes a day, your brain doesn't get the consistent exposure it needs. It doesn't live in English. So, it doesn't start thinking in English. It sees the language as a separate academic task, not a part of everyday life. 5. Passive learning. Overactive practice. Watching TV, listening to podcasts, or reading English books helps. But if you're not using the language actively, speaking, writing, thinking, your brain won't rewire itself to process English naturally. It's like watching someone lift weights and expecting to build muscle yourself. So, how do you fix it? Now for the good part. Here's a step-by-step guide to train your brain to think in English. 1. Start small. Think in words and phrases. Don't expect to think in full sentences right away. Start with single words and simple phrases. See a tree? Say tree in your mind. See your phone? Say I'm picking up my phone. Feel hungry? Think I'm hungry. Keep it simple. What matters is frequency, not complexity. Tip: use sticky notes or labels around your house with the English names of things. Your brain starts making connections every time you see them. 2. Narrate your day in English. Talk to yourself silently or out loud if possible in English during daily activities. Brushing teeth? Now I'm brushing my teeth. It feels cold. The toothpaste is minty. Cooking? I need oil, garlic, and onions. Fry the onions until golden. This helps your brain connect language to real-life actions, which speeds up fluency. 3. Internal dialogues. Talk to yourself in English. Yes, talk to yourself. Pretend you're explaining your thoughts to someone else in English. For example, why am I feeling nervous today? What do I want to do this weekend? How would I explain this idea to a friend? This builds confidence and builds thinking to speaking fluency. 4. Stop translating. This is hard at first, but essential. When you hear or see a word, don't translate it into your language. Instead, associate it directly with the thing or idea it represents. For example, hear apple? Picture an apple. Not manzana, palme, or apfel, just an apple. Hear run? Picture the action of running. Feel it in your body. This builds a direct link between English and your thoughts. 5. Create an English-only zone. Designate a space or time in your life that's English only. It could be the first 15 minutes after waking up. One room in your house. All your notes are journaling. By creating an immersive space, your brain learns to switch modes, like flipping a language switch in your head. 6. Use mental trigger. Phrases. Train your brain to enter English mode with specific phrases. For example, let's think in English now. English time. What am I doing? Let's describe it. These act as mental cues to switch your internal dialogue into English. 7. Use voice notes and playback record yourself speaking English for 1 to 2 minutes per day. Describe your day, your thoughts, or even a story. Then listen to it. You'll notice what sounds natural, where you get stuck, which words come easily. This builds awareness and helps you see progress. 8. Practice chunking. Instead of learning individual words, learn chunks or phrases. Examples. I'm just about to... At the end of the day, it doesn't make sense. Your brain can recall these as whole units, which makes thinking in English faster and smoother. 9. Watch, read, and repeat. Actively, yes, watch English shows, but don't just relax passively. Pause and repeat sentences. Shadow the speaker, speak along with them. Write down interesting phrases. Imagine how you would say that in your daily life. Turn consumption into conversation practice, even if it's just with yourself. 10. Be patient, but consistent thinking in English won't happen overnight. It's like building a new habit. It takes time, repetition, and gentle persistence. But the more often you nudge your brain into English mode, the easier and more automatic it becomes. Real-life example, from translation to thinking in English. Let's say Maria, a Spanish speaker, wants to improve her fluency. She used to think, Spanish, ¿Dónde están mis llaves? Then she'd translate, where are my keys? Now she practices saying, where are my keys, without thinking in Spanish first. She's trained herself by repeating common phrases in daily life, writing a short journal entry in English every night, watching Netflix shows with subtitles off and pausing to repeat, practicing mental conversations with herself in English. After a few months, she notices that she no longer translates. She just thinks in English. The end goal, automaticity. The ultimate goal is to reach a point where you don't think about English. You just think in it. You won't pause to check grammar rules or search for vocabulary. It'll flow just like your native language does. And you'll get there not by studying harder, but by living in English as much as possible. In your head, your heart, and your habits. Thinking in English is not a talent. It's a habit. Build it with small steps, and soon your brain will stop resisting and start embracing English as a natural part of your inner world. Ready to flip that switch?